Flo is here as well to look at the papers. You're focusing on those local elections in Italy. It's a big story yesterday morning. Big wins for the anti-establishment Five-Star movement and for women as well.
That's right, and very young women. It must be said. You have, of course, Virginia Raggi, just 37 years old, elected mayor of Rome, and Chiara Appendino, 32 years old, elected mayor of Turin. Kind of makes me wonder what I'm doing with my life. Let's take a look at the Huffington Post, the Italian version here. You can see their take on things. Rome and Turin are tinted pink. Now, as you'll see, this is kind of the catchphrase of the day. Now they're going to be able to get to work for women's issues. Now, La Repubblica, another Italian paper, points out that this is turning into some sort of a trend across Europe. You have now Rome and Turin. You also have Madrid, Barcelona, of course, Paris. We have Anne Hidalgo, Cologne, Stockholm. You can see La Repubblica says from Rome and Paris to Madrid, women are conquering European cities.
Flo reigns the press review, that's enough. Lots of focus on Virginia Raggi in particular, Flo. Her election as mayor, it's going to be a big change to the Italian capital, isn't it?
That's right. I pulled out a piece from the conservative paper Il Tempo. They talk about the Roman doll. I must admit the word use in this article is quite incredible. Rome has gone from the Martian to the little fairy. Now, that is to say it's gone from Ignacio Marino, the former mayor, to, of course, the first female mayor of Rome. It must be said, Il Tempo has not been a big fan of Ignacio Marino. They say that he's ineffective, has a whole bunch of skeletons in his closet. That being said, they're a little bit skeptical of Raggi and her lack of experience. Hope she won't just be a rose-tinted version of Marino. There you see it. They use that word as well. She has vowed to be transparent and promote good governance. So Il Tempo says we'll just have to wait and see. I pulled out a cartoon, though. This is from Courrier International. It's actually a German cartoonist, Hatchfeld. You can see her giving a very complicit wink there to the she-wolf, which represents, of course, Rome. So perhaps she'll be all right after all.
Come back, hope. Quick word about Brexit referendum. Can't stop mentioning it. Still dominating, of course, the British press. Papers trying to convince voters ahead of Thursday's vote.
That's right. It's the final countdown, isn't it? Take a look at two very opposite views here. First of all, the Daily Telegraph, the conservative paper, very much in favor of leaving the European Union. You can see here, if this Thursday's referendum is a choice between fear and hope, then we choose hope. We are not harking back to some Britannic golden age, but looking forward to a new beginning for our country. So that's the leave side of things. Let's take a look at the stay side of things. If we take a look at the front page of The Guardian, they're, first of all, urging people to vote in the first place. Go out and vote this week. And also, they're urging people to vote Remain. The EU embodies the best of us as a free people in a peaceful Europe. And they have a very long editorial today. Usually, The Guardian has several editorials. And today, they just have one editorial, which you can see here. It's talking about the fact that the UK is a connected and inclusive nation, not an angry island on the edge. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of these articles in the days to come and the hours before that vote, and we'll be keeping you updated, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Now, stateside now, the Senate is in the spotlight, drawing criticism after failing to pass new gun control restrictions in the wake of the Orlando shooting.
That's right. Let's take a look, first of all, at this article in the Washington Post. You can see their take on things. 1 week after Orlando, Republicans protect the terrorists' rights to bear arms. Now, lawmakers voted down 4 separate gun control measures that were put forward, and a lot of papers are upset about this. The Daily Beast says that 49 dead in Orlando was not enough to move the Senate on gun control. You can really feel a lot of frustration in U.S. publications. The Daily Beast actually says that a gun Groundhog Day played out in the Senate yesterday, essentially history repeating itself over and over again.
And Japan now, tens of thousands of people there. They've been demonstrating, demanding an end to the U.S. military presence. This is on the Japanese island of Okinawa.
That's right. This is an interesting story I've been noticing and kind of gaining speed in Japanese papers. I pulled out an article here from the Ryukyu Shimpo, that's a local paper in Okinawa. Now, this story actually started last month. A 32-year-old civilian worker stationed at the U.S. Kadena Air Base was arrested on suspicion of killing a local woman, and it's really snowballed into an anti-U.S., especially anti-U.S. military presence demonstration. On Sunday, for instance, 65,000 people demonstrated in Okinawa, 10,000 in Tokyo. And you can see here this article saying, our anger border has reached its limits. There's even a cartoon about it in China Daily today where you can see that it's turning into kind of a headache for Uncle Sam there on that U.S. base. You can see all that protest movement turning into a tsunami that could very well engulf the U.S. base in Okinawa.
Thank you, Flo. Flo Villeneuve with the papers and Stephen with business on France 24.